Welcome back. So previous session in Spring Security, we see how we can configure our username and password in our application.yml. Today, we shall use MySQL database and where we set our customer name and password, and through this customer name and password, we shall log in our applications. So this will be one step forward towards a production ready applications. So let's start with that. Before that, let me go to MySQL and I create a schema for that. By this time, you people should know how to install MySQL and MySQL Workbench. So I'm not going through this here now. In case you have some doubt, please refer the previous videos. So I give the schema y retail y retail bank and apply close and make it as a default schema. Now I create few tables. First table is to create a customer. So here we are taking this ID, email, password and role. I shall explain the role later, but since we'll use this table down the line, so I'm creating it completely. Don't worry, I shall update those things in the GitHub and you can get the script ready. And I shall use another table called authorities. Authorities also not needed immediately, but let me create it in one shot. And now let me insert a data into our database. So email, I just give amit.at the rate xyz.com. Password is code techies and role is admin. And I run this. Now I commit it. Commit is not needed because it will auto commit, but for a safer side, I prefer to do this one. So this is what we did. So what we did, we created our own database. And where is this? Refresh all. There we created a table called customers, and within this table we have inserted one data. So let me check this one. So let's start from customer, and from here we inserted our data. Now we shall try to log in with this username and this password. So let's see how our application currently behaving, and then we shall start changing it. So let's go here, and I have already started my application. So localhost 8001 slash customer slash get balance slash say I give 1, and you can see it is asking for an username. So I am giving this username what is I have written in application.yml. So Amit, and let me copy this one, paste it here, and I am getting the response. Here I show you one more thing, very interesting things. Just if I enter again, see if I enter again, or if I refresh this page, or even if I copy this one, and if I go here and paste, it is not asking me the username and password again, because Spring Security stores these things in JSession ID. This one I shall cover in the next video sometimes, but it is very interesting and it is good to know. You may get some interview questions on that side also. So I shall cover it definitely in the next lecture. So let's get back and focus on today's. So I stop this one, and now I need to do few things. First, I need to create an entity so that I can retrieve the data from the database. Quickly go to this. I'm creating a package called say model, and within this model I create a new Java class customer. And since we need to use Spring Data JPA at this point, so I need to use two dependencies also. Let me copy and let me paste. Actually, before I make this video, I always write this code for myself so that I can see it is completely working, and then only I shall start another project and where I just do it. So I have added these two dependency, MySQL and the Spring Data JPA. So now I come here, customer, and here I need to add few things. So what are the things I need to add? It should be same as what I have added here with respect to that. So let me quickly come here and private integer id, then I give private string password, private string email, private string password email, and string role. And here I give at the rate column name equal to, I give the same name what I have given here, email, to email. This should be same as the database column name. By this time you should know, I think I have given it is pwd. Password, yes, I have given it password, and let me copy that one also. And the right column, Alto role, and the right oops, column, let me give, and name equal to id. This column name should be same as what we have given in our database. Now I need to do few more configurations. Maybe I shall add at the rate id and at the rate generated values, and what will be our generated value? Strategy equal to generation type auto, and I make it here entity, and obviously I do getter setter, and by default no argument constructor will be generated, so I don't need to do anything. Now let me delete this package. I think now let me create another new package. What is it is repo. So those things I already covered in our microservice basic videos, so you can go there and check if you have any doubt on that. And I will create customer repo. Now what it will do, I add extends JPA repository, and what it will be? Customer. This is the entity followed by data type of my this one. So I just make it integer. Just make it integer. So that's it. That should be fine. And this is our repository. It should be interface, and here I need to give repository annotations. Now let me write one thing. List and list of customer, and here I give find customer by email, and here I give string email. Fair enough. So that's it from the database side. We need to do, we are picking up our from the database based on the all this thing based on our email, and that's it. Now we need to get back and we need to do some work on that on our configuration side. So let me come here, and what I shall do, um, let me change all these things, retail bank configurations, and let me write it into a bit different way. So I just copy paste it from the previous code to avoid to write some code, and here definitely here it should be a bin, it should be a bin, bin, and this is the method, and within this we shall write few things. I just change whatever I did earlier a bit. So http dot csrf, and here I can write csrf CSRF, and within this I can tell csrf dot disable. So basically I am writing some lambda expressions now instead of writing the traditional, because this goes well with the latest Spring security applications, and I always focus on giving you the latest one. Then followed by these things, cf isf disable, and could not resolve the method. Ah, shit. I did this one. Cf disable, so AUT authorize. Now I'll give authorize HTTPS request, and within this, see this one. Within this, I will give request, and I shall tell here is that requests dot request dot request matcher. Why it is not coming for me? Let me check. Okay, I made a silly mistake. It is, you should be very careful. This should be the same name, request, and let me close this bracket here. Request dot request matchers, and here let me copy the same thing from my previous example to save some time. Then request dot request matcher dot authenticate. Mm, Again request matcher, and here I can say contacts dot permit all, followed by what we get dot form login, and what we can do in the form login, we can give customizer, customizer dot, these things are STOMI customizer. Let's see the Spring Security config customizer dot with default, followed by I can give HTTP basic, and here also I can give customizer dot with defaults, and that's it. And then I need to return, what shall I return? HTTP dot build. That's it. So this is how we can do with the latest one. And as of now we are using plain text, so we need a password encoder also. So let me write bin, and within this we'll write public password encoder, and here I can write return no op. I know it is deprecated, so next sessions we shall give by script password encoder, but I don't want to make things too complicated. Sorry, too complicated here. So let's focus on that only and get instance. This I shall change it in the next lecture. We will use by script indicator password encoder or some other encoder. Okay, but for that we need to make some encoding logic and all. So I just want to focus on the code part here. So that's it. This is how we saved. Now one thing is left out, and this is basically I need to let my Spring Boot security application know that I am using my database, and he needs to get the username and password from the database. So for this purpose, actually we need to implement a Spring Boot security interface called user details service. So let me create our own service. Retail bank. Just I give retail bank security service and add it and extends. What I should extend? User details service. I need to give it user details, Spring Security user details service. And obviously I need to implement something for that, and it will be configurations. Here I need to implement the method load method by username. So this is one method that I need to implement, and here what we shall do, we shall create private customer repo and the customer repo, and here let me give all argument with constructor and all magic we shall do it here. So what we shall do, we'll first put get the customer list for customer list equal to what happened, customer repo dot find customer by email, and here it will be email. Sorry, I give it email here. Now next step we shall check, what we shall check, if customer list dot is empty. If it is empty, then what we do, we throw new user not found exceptions, and I can tell that user does not exist. Please register yourself with our bank. Something like that. Anything you can write. And now the critical part. Else. Else means if it is there, then what we shall do, we shall create a new thing. So list of granted authors. So these are all whatever I am using. Sorry. So this, see if you can see this granted authority, these things are all coming from Spring Security. So what I shall do, let me create authorities and equal to, I just create a uh, new array list. Okay, that's it. Now I shall do few things. So for user name equal to, I need to get customer list dot get, I just take the first one now, get 0 dot get email. This will be the customer, and here this name should be username. It should match with the corresponding Spring Boot. And here we can give password equal to same customer list dot get 0 dot get password. Fine. Now what happened, we can give authorities dot add, and here we will give new simple granted authority and customer list dot get 0 dot get role. And after everything is done, I shall create return new user, and see this one, this is the user, and there I can give username password comma authorities. That's it, and this return I can remove. So this is the changes that we need to do. So no interface expected here. user service to oh sorry, yeah, my apology. It should be interface. So basically we need to implement an user details interface, and this is expecting an user details, and here we are returning a new user. Okay, now based on that our application will start, and this is the only change we need to make. Now we go here, and here we need to make some standard changes. So these things you already know, so I just copy paste it from my previous applications, and this one we are remove. Just see this we shall remove, and instead of that we just use our JDBC. So I just see what schema name I have given. It is Y retail bank, R capital B capital. So let me change it to Y underscore retail underscore bank. Password is root. Other things are all fine. So that's it. And let me go to my terminal and run, build and run. It's built. Now let me run my Y retail bank application. It has started. Now let me copy this one for simplicity purpose, and let me open a new window. Go here. I change it to first we see help desk slash contact us. Is it working? It will not ask any username and password, and yes, it is working perfectly. It is not asking any username and password. Now we go to customer slash balance slash anything we give. See this, it is asking for username and password, and I need to give my amit dot datta xyz.com, and here I need to give the password. What is this password I set here? Techies. So let me go here and keep the password, and I sign in. I'm able to sign in. Okay, so this is how it should work. Now what happened? We can get our username from the database instead of configuring it into my in our configuration.properties and all. So I already created a branch user. So before I forget, let me add those scripts also here, and I shall commit resources. I just create a new file, scripts.sql, edit. Let me copy all these things from here to here, paste it, save, and commit. Here I can say getting user from MySQL. So let me push, commit and push. So this is how you can get it. All the applications, all the code is here. It is available in the GitHub locations. You can take it. So let's quickly recap what we did. We created a new schema. Here we have added a table for customers, and we inserted some data. We created an authorities table also, but this is not used in this, but I need it down the line when we add different role to the users, and based on the role user can access different endpoints. So that point of time it will come in picture. So I just added it instead of adding it later. So that's it. This is what we did. Then we do some standard Java coding. We created our entity for this model, and we created our repository. Here we are telling find customer. then we go to our retail config, and there, instead of using the Java based, we are using the Lambda CWS, and this is the same thing. I'm just keep changing this in Lambda based on the latest Spring security configurations. These are authenticated, and what is the permitted all that I did. And here I have added a password encoder because we are getting it from the database. But since we are not encoding any password at this point, I'm using no ops password encoder. This is deprecated and I know it very well. And down the line, we shall replace it with the by binary encoder or some other encoder, and I shall take a separate sessions on that. After that, we came and we created our security service, which is uh, implementing user detail service. Now, user detail service, we get the data from the database. If nothing is there, we are changing that. It is not exist. And if it is there, then we are getting this username and setting it in the username password. This I'm setting in the authorities, and then I'm creating a new user object, and this is what I am returning from my applications. And now when the Spring works, it will come here, it will execute all these things, and then it will get the username and password. It will be what we get from that will set. After that, Spring Boot will security will check this username password what we get from the database is matching with the username password what is sent from the uh, that user has supplied, and if it is working, then only you will send the user to the give the user to the endpoint access. So this is how we did, and this is how it works. If you have any questions, please write in the comment sections. I shall definitely look into this and get back to you, and I shall come up with the next sessions very soon. Till then, please like, share, and subscribe, and thank you. Thanks for your time.